Hi everybody, happy Wednesday. We're gonna pick up right where we left off. Harry sat on his four-poster and flicked through the blank pages, not one of which had a trace of scarlet ink on it. Then he pulled a new bottle out of his bedside cabinet, dipped his quill into it, and dropped a blot onto the first page of the diary. The ink shone brightly on the paper for a second, and then, as though it was being sucked into the page, vanished. Excited, Harry loaded up his quill a second time and wrote, "My name is Harry Potter." The words shone momentarily on the page, and they too sank without a trace. Then, at last, something happened. Oozing back out of the page in his very own ink came the words Harry Potter had never written. "Hello, Harry Potter. My name is Tom Riddle. How did you come by my diary?" These words, too, faded away, but not before Harry had started to scribble back. "Someone tried to flush it down a toilet." He waited eagerly for Riddle's reply. "Lucky that I recorded my memories in some more lasting way than ink. But I always knew that there would be those who would not want this diary read." "What do you mean?" Harry scrawled, blotting the page in his excitement. "I mean that this diary holds memories of terrible things. Things which were covered up. Things which happened at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry." "That's where I am now," Harry wrote quickly. "I'm at Hogwarts and horrible stuff has been happening. Do you know anything about the Chamber of Secrets?" His heart was hammering. Riddle's reply came quickly, his writing becoming untidier, as though he was hurrying to tell all that he knew. "Of course I know about the Chamber of Secrets. In my day, they told us it was a legend. They told us it did not exist. But this was a lie. In my 5th year, the Chamber of Secrets was opened and a monster attacked several students, finally killing one. I caught the person who'd opened the chamber, and he was expelled. But the headmaster, Professor Dippet, ashamed that such a thing had happened at Hogwarts, forbade me to tell the truth. A story was given out that the girl had died in a freak accident. They gave me a nice, shiny, engraved trophy for my trouble and warned me to keep my mouth shut. But I knew it could happen again. The monster lived on, and the one who had the power to release it was not imprisoned." Harry nearly upset his ink bottle in his hurry to write back. "It's happening again now. There have been 3 attacks and no one seems to know who's behind them. Who was it last time?" "I can show you if you like," came Riddle's reply. "You don't have to take my word for it. I can take you inside my memory of the night when I caught him." Harry hesitated, his quill suspended over the diary. What did Riddle mean? How could he be taken inside somebody else's memory? He glanced nervously at the door to the dormitory, which was growing dark. When he looked back at the diary, he saw fresh words forming. "Let me show you." Harry paused for a fraction of a second, and then wrote 2 letters. "OK." The pages of the diary began to blow as though a candle in high wind. As though caught in high wind, stopping halfway through the month of June. Mouth hanging open, Harry saw that the little square for June in the 13th seemed to have turned into a minuscule television screen. His hand trembling slightly, he raised the book to press his eye against the little window, and before he knew what was happening, he was tilting forwards. The window was widening, and he felt his body leave his bed, and he was pitched headfirst through the opening of the page into a whirl of color and shadow. Wow. That is really, really neat. Go ahead and pause here if you'd like to have a closer look. But to Harry's disappointment, Riddle led him into a hidden passageway or a secret tunnel, but the very dungeon in which Harry had potions with Snape. The torches hadn't been lit, and when Riddle pushed the door almost closed, Harry could only just see Riddle, standing stock still by the door, watching the passage outside. It felt to Harry that they were there for at least an hour. All he could see was the figure of Riddle at the door, staring through the crack, waiting like a statue. And just when Harry had stopped feeling expectant and tense and started wishing he could return to the present, he heard something move beyond the door. Someone was creeping along the passage. He heard whoever it was pass the dungeon where Riddle and he were hidden. Riddle, quiet as a shadow, edged through the door and followed. Harry tiptoeing behind him, forgetting that he couldn't be heard. For perhaps 5 minutes they followed the footsteps until Riddle stopped and suddenly his head inclined in the directions of new noises. Harry heard a door creak open, and then someone was speaking in a hoarse whisper. "Come on! Gotta get you out of here! Come on now! In the box!" There was something familiar about that voice. Riddle suddenly jumped around the corner. Harry stepped behind him. He could see the dark outline of a huge boy who was crouching in front of an open door, a very large box next to it. "Evening, Rubeus," said Riddle sharply. The boy slammed the door shut and stood up. "What are you doing down here, Tom?" Riddle stepped closer. "It's all over," he said. "I'm going to have to turn you in, Rubeus." Is it Rubus or Rubeus? I can't remember Hagrid's first name. "They're talking about closing Hogwarts if the attacks don't stop." "What are you?" "I don't think you meant to kill anyone, but monsters don't make good pets. I suppose you just let it out for exercise and—" "It never killed no one," said the large boy, backing against the closed door. From behind him, Harry could hear a funny rustling and clicking. "Come on, Rubeus," said Riddle, moving yet closer. "The dead girl's parents will be here tomorrow. The least Hogwarts can do is make sure that the thing that killed their daughter is slaughtered." "It wasn't him!" roared the boy, his voice echoing in the dark passage. "He wouldn't! He'd never!" "Stand aside," said Riddle, drawing out his wand. His spell lit the corridor with a sudden flaming light. The door behind the large boy flew open with such force it knocked him to the wall opposite. And out of it came something that made Harry let out a long, piercing scream no one but he seemed to hear. A vast, low-slung, hairy body and tangle of black legs, a gleam of many eyes, and a pair of razor-sharp pincers. Riddle raised his wand again, but he was too late. The thing bowled over him as it scuttled away, tearing up the corridor and out of sight. Riddle scrambled to his feet, looking after it. He raised his wand, but the huge boy leapt on him, seized his wand, and threw him back down, yelling, "No!" The scene whirled and the darkness became complete. Harry felt himself falling, and with a crash he landed, spread-eagled on his four-poster in the Gryffindor dormitory. Riddle's diary lying open on his stomach. Before he had time to regain his breath, the dormitory door opened, and Ron came in. "There you are," he said. Harry sat up. He was sweating and shaking. "What's up?" said Ron, looking at him with concern. "It was Hagrid, Ron. Hagrid opened the Chamber of Secrets 50 years ago. That's the end of the chapter. Tomorrow, we'll start chapter 14, which is called Cornelius Fudge. I hope that you have a very nice day today, and I'll see you tomorrow.